Do you think what you were talking about then about mentality and the mentality of the club now and what you see of the club now? Then you were, playing in Europe year in, year out. You were winning championships, so you had a big club mentality going into those games. Everton was seen as a big club. And do you think that's shifted now? And you now think, and now what happens is they think, well, we're only Everton, so when we're taking on the bigger clubs, they feel like they're punching up.
There's no bigger club.
I know that Everton. No. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
I know you think that. But do the players now think that? That's what I mean.
Players don't give a shit. If I'm honest, they don't look as if they give a shit.
That's one or two.
No, well, if you look in general, I look at our club as a club, and you go, right, okay, what do they want to achieve? It started, funny enough, when David Moyes was there, and they thought 10th was a good place to be. So we lost our ambition there on that day. From there, we just went down and down and down. And we got to a point now where we've struggled for the past 4 years, where we're actually celebrating staying up and not being ashamed of it. But we should be ashamed of it as a club. And everybody in that boardroom should have been ashamed of what went on. And whoever signed them players should have been ashamed of what we got. So we don't know our own worth. And that's a real problem. Hopefully now with the new owners coming in, we'll build that back up. But the only way you're going to build it up is to go and win stuff. They might all be nice lads, but it's what they are that counts. You've got to have good players. And unfortunately at the moment, come next season, we're either going to overpay somebody to come to the club, because if I was a top player, would I come for David Moyes and his style of football? No, I wouldn't. Would I come for a lot of cash? Maybe. Because you might have to overpay to start with, because you need to sign some real quality. The trouble is the quality goes up the top to the top 4 or 5 teams because they have more money. So the players now get attracted to the cash and the managers who win stuff. So we need to get our act together and we need to start signing some decent players. You can say these try and all that, which is great. A few of them care, but in the main, the position don't lie. The state of the club for the past 20 odd years has been disgraceful. And yet we're daydreaming and being pushed into a land that we think it's okay now because we're safe. It's not okay. It's an absolute disgrace where we are, because we should never have been in this position in the first place.
So on that, are you having David Moyes?
Short term, yeah. Long term, no.
Agreed.
Yeah. Short
Because I still think if we want to sign the calibre of players we want to sign, they're going to come for somebody who plays the sort of football that they like. And you could look at all the managers in the league and they all play like the manager's personality. You looked at Man United under Ferguson. They all played like Alex Ferguson's personality. They just never give in. Never ever give in. And you're looking at that and you're going like, we need somebody with a personality who's going to drive and play the sort of football that people want to come. Because we're going to have to fill that ground all the time. And we have to be in Europe, because we can't afford, it won't be sustainable to come 15th in that stadium. It just won't. And it'll be disgraceful if we don't finish in I hate players when they go back and say, could it be good to stay in the league? Well, why are you playing football? Come back to win the league, or don't come back. Because your attitude's got to be to win the league. If it's not, why are you playing? You've got to start there, and whatever you fall, fine, because the league won't lie. But you don't go in there to go, well, it'd be great if we finish 5th bottom. And you think, what's the ambition of that? It's like a dead frog. What's the point? So I know the expectations of a different club, but the expectations in this room is that Everton have to be successful and have to win stuff. And if the board had as much ambition as the fans and as good as the community, we'd be all right. But they haven't. Well, they might have now, but in the past, oh my God. It was dreadful to watch, and it was dreadful to see the decline of a fantastic club being torn away by people who used it as a toy and not as a football club.
What do you think of the squad at the minute?
It's poor.
there's a lot of players out of contract at the end of the season, isn't there? So there's a lot of opportunity to bring new blood in. How much they want to do that in one go is kind of, that's going to be down to the club. I think there's the fact that we are safe earlier on in the season, you know, we're not taking it down to the wire. I think we're closer to top 4 than we are to relegation. We're nowhere near either, but that feels good as well. It means that we are definitely a Premier League club next season, so at least that will enable conversations to happen earlier on, I would hope. I think David Moyes has got a record of making players better when they come to Everton, because for so long, players have come to Everton and either like just stagnated or just got worse. And I think he has got the ability to, you know, Jake O'Brien, he's brought him into the team. The guy's got a head like one of those Easter Island rocks, hasn't he? But he can move, and he can. I'd love to see him dance. I bet he's amazing. Get him on Strictly next year, because he's 6'7". He's brilliant, and he's not even playing in his right position. So players like that, you know, a few more of them. And Jai's a great player. He's playing further up the field under Moyes.
Not a great player.
Okay, I don't want to argue with the biggest living legend of the club.
Argue with him, see what happens.
Okay, that's it. Can I swap seats before I argue with him?
Fight.
I think he's got the potential. He's a promising player. Okay, maybe I need to rephrase that. He's the kind of player we haven't had much of recently. And I feel like within Jai, he's got, how far he goes, we'll find out, won't we? But he feels like if he was dribbling through a 10-car pile-up on the M6, he'd still come out with the ball at the end. He's got this uncanny ability, like the old Harry Enfield sketch with it's glued to the foot. He's like, so he gets you off your seat. We haven't had anything like that for a long time. We have been starved. We've been eating gruel, and so you throw us anything like resembling a decent meal, we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we have got to keep our powder dry and keep our feet on the ground a little bit, but there's a lot of improvements and standards, and it's nice to hear you say that, because I think the standards at Everton have just been on the floor for far too long, and I think recognising that they need to be raised is a starting point.
It is a club of great strikers as well. You say it's not, in the past you've had, I'm going to say Lineker, Graham Sharp was your good striker for you, wasn't it? Lukaku was great, I thought, getting closer to where we are now, and of course the best of all, unless you're a burglar, Big Dunk. What happened in the recruitment process? What do you think happened in the youth development process that those players aren't coming through? But also, Nev, who's the best you ever trained with?
Trevor was the best trainer, to be fair. There's a difference, because when I looked at Sheeds, when Sheeds first come, looked at Kevin Sheed and I thought, Jesus Christ. He walks like he's got 3 horseshoes, not 4, hobbling about, and then he started picking the balls around the pitch. I went, well, fair enough then. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Different class. And I think of all the players that we've ever had in that squad, he's the only one we couldn't replace, because we had nobody to do what he could do.
Kevin Sheedy.
Yeah. Nobody could do what he could do. So he could replace everybody else, mainly with Alan Harper or Kevin Richardson. But him, he couldn't replace, because he just had something different. And if he was playing now, he'd score 1 million goals, because the ball's shit and the goalies are shit.